Okay, we're back. Had a little technical difficulty there. You were telling the people about Cherokee Valley. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're talking about the weather and how it's starting to get really nice. And I think this is the best time of the year to go out and play golf. And I think the golf courses are in the best shape that they are in the year. So look no further than Cherokee Valley Golf Course in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Cody Allen and the crew want you to come take on the challenge of their wide fairways and large championship Bermuda greens. Got 2 putting greens, driving range, and a chipping green if you want to get your game tightened up before the cold weather hits and you can no longer get out there. So book a tee time online at olivebranchgolf.com or call them at 662-893-4444. We were talking about Ole Miss looking at the portal, trying to get some security for next season when Matt Corral is no longer in the quarterback room. And if you're looking for security elsewhere, look no further than Protection Unlimited, the Mid-South's leader in commercial and residential alarm security. Wayne Lowry and his team have been serving the greater Memphis area and North Mississippi for 40-plus years, and they would love to get your business and or family protected today. Cutting-edge security for your home or business, video surveillance options, monitoring 24/7, 365. Call them at 901-754-6510 or email them at info@protectionunlimited.com.
All right, a couple of questions here that are good. Good old Archie Who says, does the athletic department offer any guidance to recruits regarding which publications/websites are legitimate, or is it really just based on name recognition? I don't think so. I don't think they do that. You'd argue that they should, but they don't, I don't think. Oftentimes, they'll just tell them, it's kind of a funny dance, isn't it, Zach? Because on one hand, I don't think they want kids to have to fool with us, and on the other hand, they want publicity. They want kids to take high-profile kids to take visits and come back and go, yeah, man, Ole Miss was awesome. The people were great. I loved it. The program's going great. I loved hanging out with Coach whoever. They want that, but on the other hand, they don't want to deal with a lot of the crap that comes with it, and so it's a dance, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they want to get to that point where, a prospect might think that they're steering them to talk to certain people. And I don't think that's what the question was asking or if that's what the staff would view it as. But you never know how a kid will take it, where it's like, well, why do you want me to speak to that certain person? Why can't I talk to that person? Because I mean, to the credit for the prospect, I mean, they're selling their brand. They're trying to enhance their name and get their name out there. So, I mean, you'd think that any kid, regardless of how highly they're rated or if they're not rated at all, they want to talk to as many people as they can to just get their name out there and for people to know who they are. So, yeah, I don't think that they do that. I mean, look, I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say it'd be great if anytime they had a prospect in that they were like, hey, make sure if Zach Berry or Neal McCready text you or DM you, make sure to get back to them because they're good guys and they're going to do a great interview. That would be awesome, but I don't think that's what they do.
No, I don't either. LSU set to implode. Any of their commits that Ole Miss could poach? I think a lot of those guys are going to wait while you're pulling that up. I think a lot of those guys are going to do the same thing that we're talking about with Devin Brown. They're going to look back. They're going to wait, and they're going to see what happens. Who does LSU hire? What staff does he bring in? What happens with the communication they have quickly? Does it drag? Does it, there's just so many variables. Again, right after Thanksgiving, 2 things happen. The shopping season and the coaching carousel. And both kind of spin, and that coaching carousel is going to spin hard right after those days. And how it finalizes and where people land and all that stuff it affects a lot of recruiting. That's why I'm not convinced that the Lane Kiffin staff, which I think they do they can make do a lot of damage in recruiting quickly because they're kind of dynamic sort of, recruiters and that. I think they do kind of wait and see what happens, and then look. And Barrett brings up a great question here in the thread. Do you think they try and get Deion Smith from LSU? Who knows? Who knows, right? This isn't just LSU, but like USC and so many places. Who knows what the transfer portal is going to look like? I mean,
Yeah, I was going to say I'd probably bet more money on them possibly talking to a current player than a commit. Deion Smith's a Mississippi kid. The Ole Miss offense speaks for itself. Maybe he's not going to be patient enough to wait and see what happens and who they hire. Maybe he, hey, and this isn't me putting words in his mouth, or this isn't a, I don't know this for a fact, but it could always be, well, I kind of want to go back home. I kind of want to go play for the known commodity in Oxford.
Sure.
So, yeah, nobody on their commit list jumps out to me. They talked to Javonte Citizen for a while, but he ended up picking LSU, and I don't think, barring him knocking on Lane Kiffin's door and asking if he can come on board, I don't think that they're going to actively pursue him. I think they like where they're at running back and with Quinshon Judkins. So, yeah, I would look more at current players than I would at commits.
Simica One wants our thoughts on the basketball commitment from the other day that you wrote the story on. Ewan, I think, is that how you say his name? Ewan?
Malik, I think it's Ewan.
I think it is.
Yeah, I was supposed to talk to him, but it was the day of his commitment. Things start happening. He was when I talked to him, he was in school, and he was saying, I'll call you after I get out of his class. And then it got really close to when his announcement was happening. So I think he was probably wanting to be ready to handle all of that. I think it's a great pickup. The top 100 player, very, very, very well-respected skill set in the state of Georgia. He plays for Team Huncho, which is a really good AAU team in Georgia. I know Neal knows about him, but for those that aren't in the know, Team Huncho is owned by the hip-hop group Migos. I know Neal's a big Migos fan, so he plays for Migos' AAU team. I think it's a great pickup. He's 6'10", probably close to 250, really versatile, can play the 5, but is flexible enough to play the 4. He can get out and run the floor. He can handle the basketball. And I think he's a little more advanced than people give him credit for defensively. He's long and pretty active rebounder and can defend the rim. I'll tell you another thing. If you're looking to defend or show off your skill set in the financial world, look no further than Bluff City Advisory Group, Memphis's leading team of finance professionals who provide advanced assistance with financial planning, pension and qualified plan support, and business and real estate planning strategies. Former Ole Miss Rebel and founding partner Ben Still, along with his elite-level customer service team, make it their goal to help you meet the ongoing demands of your financial needs. Learn more about Bluff City Advisory Group at bluffcityadvisory.com. If you're looking for possibly investing in real estate, if you're looking to leave a certain neighborhood and go somewhere else, if you're wanting to make sure the seller's net profit was maximized, if your house is sold quickly, zero contingencies, all of that good stuff, everything goes well, closing successfully, look no further than the Barry Home Team. When you're ready to sell and make the most net profit from your home, call Stacy and Rick Barry. They'd love to do the same for you. They will lead you through the process from property assessment, repairs, staging, and making sure that sold sign is in your yard. Both have earned the multi-million-dollar club member status of all the volume that has been sold in 2021, and they'd love to assist you today. Call them 901-481-6420 or 901-461-6421. After you've done that, make sure to give Saddle Creek Title a call. The Mid-South's leader in client-focused, innovative closing solutions. Neal Hanna and his team, they're more than just a real estate closing firm. They're dedicated to going the distance to ensure the ease and growth of your real estate business. Check them out at saddlecreektitle.com. Soft Verbal also brought to you by Davis McCord State Farm. If you're needing good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates, look no further than Davis McCord. He's your one-stop shop in Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Mississippi for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop looking around. Davis McCord is ready to help. Call him at 901-755-6110 for your surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, Nick Grantham won the helmet.
Nice.
So Nick, send me your mailing address. I'll message you and ask for it. We had a large turnout on my Twitter feed and my DMs. There's a consolation prize. It's actually a pretty cool consolation prize. It's a DK Metcalf. What do you call these? Like a tumbler sort of thing? From College Corner, collegecornerstore.com. Corey Hamill wins that.
Nice.
So there you go.
Not a bad consolation prize at all.
Not at all. All right, we'll wrap there. The last thing Randall says is Ewan is Georgia Tech still recruiting him. I would assume they still are. He sounded pretty done. Everything I hear is that it's done.
Yeah, I think so. It was a pretty wild 12 hours there for a little bit. Don't know specifics of what really happened. It seems that there was it was almost like a source off at one point where there was some in Atlanta that thought that Josh Pastner and his staff had done the work to, I guess, flip him, quote unquote, because he wasn't committed anywhere yet. But it was expected for, I guess, a month or so that he was going to pick Ole Miss. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a fantastic addition to this class. I think they're going to try to round it out at the high school level with Jalen Reed, who is another 6'10" guy that's incredibly versatile and can kind of play anywhere from the 3 to I don't think he's big enough for the 5, but he's long enough. But
I think at the end of the day, they're going to get him.
I do too. He's got some high-profile programs after him, but I think the staff has done a really nice job recruiting him for, I guess going on like 2.5 years now, and it doesn't happen for a lot of recruits, but I do think that family following in his father's footsteps is a big thing to him for good reason, because his father was probably one of the better college players that Ole Miss has ever had, and I think that that's a big part of why Ole Miss is in a good spot with him.
Yeah, his dad was an exceptionally good player. Just
without going back to Johnny Newman and some of the older guys. I grew up watching him play, and he was a bona fide NBA player playing SEC basketball that just did whatever he wanted.
No doubt. Hey, we also have been brought to you by Joey Erickson, Hair and Gear Autoplex. Let him help you find the vehicle you're looking for at a price you can afford. Full selection of new Chevy, BMW, Lexus, and Infiniti. Or you can get a great deal on numerous brands of reliable pre-owned vehicles. 662-571-2367, 1685 High Street in Jackson. We will be back with more recruiting coverage over the course of the weekend. Zach's heading to Knoxville, actually, for the weekend, so he'll have some observations from the game. We'll get geared up for what should be a huge weekend of recruiting here next weekend. LSU heading to town, Eli Manning's jersey being retired, all of those things. So we'll try to get you really geared up for that weekend at rebelgrove.com. Don't forget promo code Eli10 if you want to subscribe. We'd love to have you. We've had it's been a big week of subscriptions this week on the site, so we'd love for you to join the party as well. It's free access through Thanksgiving. Promo code Eli10 at rebelgrove.com. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Soft Verbal Podcast presented by the College Corner. collegecornerstore.com is that site. Thanks to everybody who sent messages in. Thanks for everybody who participated in the stream. Thanks for making us a part of your week. For Zach, I'm Neal. Take care.